2010 is a really special year for both Birmingham Forward, which started 20 years ago, and Birmingham Future, whose flagship event, the Birmingham Young Professional of the Year Awards, began 10 years ago.
In the 70s and 80s, Birmingham was an industrial morass. It had come through the metal bashing period. It had come through the period of making cars and motorcycles and guns and all the things that Birmingham was famous for. And all of a sudden, that market was disappearing elsewhere.
Birmingham was changing. It was changing from a heavily industrialised city with its industry, its business based on trade and commerce, into a city that was going to become eventually driven by professional and financial services. We called a meeting in October 1989 at the offices of what is now KPMG, and we had 70 firms represented there, and we asked them to support the idea of a professional services organisation. I asked them all for £100, and they all gave us £100, so that gave us £7,000 to launch the organisation.
We were one of the founder members. I think there were about 100 firms that actually signed up just about on day one. And it struck me then that to have an organisation actually that was focused on Birmingham's professional and the business support and the financial community, and actually was championing what that particular sector of commerce and industry actually wanted, it struck me that that was an enormously sensible thing to do.
We were aware that the professional sector wasn't as well represented as it should be, and that the message wasn't getting out to, particularly to London and the big companies, of what was on offer here. And the services were just as good as London, they were better value for money, and they were more coordinated. There was a one-stop shop service in Birmingham where all professions worked together to provide the service that clients needed, but the awareness of it wasn't there.
When it started out, it was designed to create a marketplace and really promote and build the presence and profile of the business and professional services community here within Birmingham. But if we move forwards 20 years, we're now in a position where the community is strong, it's got a good reputation locally as well as nationally, and arguably internationally the presence is growing as well.
I think Birmingham Forward has achieved a huge amount in the last 20 years. There's no doubt the organisation itself is the voice of the largest business sector in the West Midlands. That's terribly important. And the awareness of the quality and range of services in this city is internationally recognised, and that's great news.
It's really interesting when you look back in terms of our aspirations back in 2000, how many ticks we can put against our ambitions. We wanted the physical infrastructure to improve, and it has done so. There were certain requirements like Birmingham New Street Station, for instance, that we wanted to be improved. Well, it's not quite there, but it's now happening, and that's important. We wanted the economic prospects of the city to improve. We wanted our standing on the global stage to improve, and that has happened. I mean, just remember 10 years ago, we did not even rank on any league table in terms of a business destination. We just weren't there. And now we've shot up and we're second in the UK only to London as a preferred business location. So the tasks that we set out then, I believe Birmingham Forward has been fundamental in delivering those for the city.
Really what we've now got to do is continue to build on that and support the organisations that are already here within the city, and also support new entrants into the city from within the business and professional services community. Birmingham Future really has a major part to play in the development of Birmingham Forward and the city as a whole. We've got to focus on developing the up-and-coming talents, because as I've said, they are the future leaders. And Birmingham Future does this on many levels. It does it from the development programs and courses and workshops it runs. It does it through things like celebrating success with Birmingham Young Professional of the Year. It does it through attracting new talent into the city with the Graduate Apprentice Scheme. So overall, the city will only become even more successful over the next 20 and 30 years if those individuals who are still at the early stage of their career now develop their career and help to form and forge the way that Birmingham develops in the future.
Birmingham Future's membership is really dynamic. They're really engaged and they're passionate about the city. They want to drive change forward. It's a really diverse mix of people, which makes it fantastic for networking with and for building up relationships with people who you'll be working with for the next 20, 30, 40 years.
I don't think old farts like me have always got the answers. What we've got to do is to get the young people in and say, here's an opportunity, let's go with it. Let's be scared, let's hang on to what we've got. I mean, you've got to go for it. And you want young people who are prepared to do that.
We're really proud of what we've accomplished to date, but we want to achieve so much more. Everything's possible for us.